A look at the growing fear about flying safely after some scary moments in the sky in the past few weeks. That includes an attack by a Leominster man on a Boston-bound plane. Francisco Severo Torres is now facing life in prison after threatening a flight attendant and then charging at her and hitting her with a metal spoon. Just one day later, two planes clipped wings on the tarmac at Logan Airport, and less than a week before both of those instances, there was another close call at Logan, where a plane took off without clearance, forcing a nearby plane that was landing to head back up into the air. No one was hurt in either case, and that comes after a series of familiar airport accidents in recent months. We're talking about Texas, New York, California, and Hawaii, all of which have prompted the head of the Federal Aviation Administration to call for a safety summit. And as for the cases of on-flight violence and aggression, well, those have been on the rise since the pandemic began, with nearly 2,500 unruly passenger reports to the FAA last year alone. It was one of the worst years on record, though still a major decline from 2021, which saw nearly 6,000 complaints. So how concerned should we really be right now? And what needs to happen to keep crews and passengers safe in the skies? Well, we're going to break it down. Joining me to discuss this are Taisha Best, a flight attendant and president of Transit Workers Union Local 579, and Patrick Smith, an airline pilot, air travel blogger, and author of the website Ask a Pilot. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So, Taisha, I want to start with you. Talk to me about what the experience has been for flight attendants when we're talking about statistics in instances like these.
So basically, the problem has been is our operations has been experiencing numerous delays or cancellations. JetBlue having 30% delay rates right now, year over year. And what occurs is our customers just come on the plane frustrated, and they seem to be using airline workers as a punching bag. And so last year, the TW really championed and launched an Assault Won't Fly national campaign to bring awareness to these ongoing issues regarding customers being unruly and disruptive, both in the air and on the ground.
Patrick, you've been blogging about these situations. What do you find has been, if you can think about it, a common denominator, if there is one?
Well, going back to your intro, I think we're conflating two very different issues here, two different subjects. We're talking about air safety, generally speaking, and we're talking about what we used to call air rage, people becoming violent and unruly on planes. That is not a new phenomenon. I think the raw numbers of air rage incidents are up, but it would be interesting to look at them proportionally. And by that, I mean, there are a lot more people flying now. I think it's somewhere around 3 million people a day worldwide. So, honestly, when you consider the stresses of flying, the noise, the crowds, and then when you introduce alcohol into the mix, I'm surprised in some ways we don't see more of these incidents. And part of it, too, I think, is that the demographics, for lack of a better term, of flying have changed so much. In the old days, air travel was seen as something dignified and something special, something not everybody did, mostly because they couldn't afford it in the old days. And now it's something we just take for granted. It's like getting on a bus. We're not really expecting, or we're not expected to be on our best behavior the way we once were. That doesn't excuse what people are doing when it becomes violent, but I think that's the progression, and that's one of the reasons this is happening. Now, this is all very different from the other part of the subject here, which is just air safety generally, and the incidents we saw, like the one at Logan and elsewhere around the country.
So let's talk about air safety then. What accounts for some of these near misses? We're talking about planes clipping each other and things like that. Is it a lack of training? Is it hours in the air? What is it?
Yeah, I don't necessarily see these incidents, even though there has been a number of them lately, as symptomatic of some dysfunction. In a lot of ways, and this is going to sound strange, to me, they actually serve to underscore just how safe flying is. And by that, I mean, when you go back through the air travel annals, you know, you don't see the number of very serious, catastrophic aviation accidents like we used to see in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even into the 2000s when we had multiple major accidents every year around the world. Nowadays, one or two is a lot. And so when even minor incidents happen, the media tends to seize on them and spin them up, and they become the focus of attention, which unfortunately gives people the idea that flying is becoming more dangerous when really just the opposite is true. Statistically, we've never been safer than we are right now. In 1985, just to pick a year, there were 27 major aviation disasters around the world. 27 in 1 year. I mean, that was a bad year, granted, but you know, we would have 1, 2, 3, 5 sometimes every year, and now, like I said, 1 or 2 is a lot. So there's a lot of focus on even minor incidents now because we don't have the big ones to talk about.
Well, if there are minor, and Taisha, I do have some questions for you as well, but if they are minor, then why would the FAA have a safety summit?
Well, I mean, once you establish a paradigm like we have now, where flying is so incredibly safe, you want to keep it that way. And you know, it's good that these incidents, you know, cause us to be proactive and to look for breakdowns in the safety chain to keep us as safe as we are. And I think that's the focus of the Safety Summit. You know, I could be wrong. There could be, these things could be symptomatic in some way of something kind of going wrong in the system, but it's good that it's coming out like this and not in the form of a major crash.
And Taisha, I know that. Oh, yes, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
I definitely would like to add to that. We just recently had air traffic control shut down for several hours in the morning, which disrupted customers being able to get to and from their homes and their other destinations on time. So when we talk about there's less of, yes, that could be true. However, we are seeing more antiquated system issues, degradations of the operations regarding the ability of flights to take off on time and land on time. So when we talk about safety, we also need to talk about, are we upgrading our systems? It's not just about training. We can train and put someone in front of a computer, but if that computer is still outdated, then they are not keeping up with higher numbers of customers. So as the customer number gets higher, then we also need to ensure that our operations and operational systems are also being updated as well.
Right, because we are selling the tickets to the customers. And so if we're going to be selling a lot of tickets, we have to make sure that they have a safe flight. Taisha, I want to ask you, as we talk about this safety summit, I know that flight attendants have been active and vocal about concerns in the sky for their safety. And what are some of the things that specifically, you know, the Transit Workers Union wants to say?
So in terms of TWU, what we are calling for better training for our airline workers. We need real life type situational training regarding customer disruption and unruly behavior. We don't have that detailed training that would allow for us to act quickly, dismantle and disarm any unruly, aggressive passengers. We also would like to talk about the fact that we were really championing the Protection from Abusive Passengers Act, which is a bill that should be reintroduced on the floor very soon. We're uplifting that because that would allow for, if a customer is unruly on one plane, that act will ban them from the next day getting on another plane and possibly repeating that unruly situation. What we need is accountability. And what we want is our companies to be held accountable regarding this mismanagement of flight delays and cancellations, which is having our customers being very frustrated and angry, and in turn taking it out on airline employees when, in fact, it wasn't our problem that the flights are being canceled and delayed. It's due to just understaffing and just poor operational needs.
Patrick, what do you think needs to come out of this safety summit from your perspective?
Well, Taisha just made a good point. And you know, the fact that our air traffic control system is outdated and outmoded, I mean, that's no secret. That doesn't equate to it being unsafe, but there are changes that we need to make. I mean, that's simply not a question. But in the meantime, you have airlines themselves in an operational state right now that is maybe not quite where it should be. So we have a lot of delays. We have a lot of logistical problems, cancellations, delays that are both traffic related and related to understaffing and personnel shortages and so on at the airlines. And these things are all kind of coming together to create frustration levels that are above and beyond where they were pre-pandemic. And you know, when I started writing and blogging about the air travel business, one of the things I've learned after years of doing it is never underestimate people's contempt for the airlines. Some of that is earned, a lot of it is not, but it does result in people just being aggravated and frustrated when they get to the airport. And a lot of ways, flying brings out the worst in people.
And so, Taisha, I guess what would your message be to passengers? You know, I'm thinking about spring break coming up, and I'm thinking about people being, you know, on planes and traveling places. I guess what would be your message to folks who are getting on a plane for spring break?
So we are happy to take you home and take you to your vacation destination. We are asking that you respect our deliverables when we ask you to remain seated, put your seatbelt on. We ask you to not overserve yourself on alcohol before stepping on the planes. It's really hard to have an inebriated customer in the air. We're in a metal plane going so fast, and to be able to have a very quick response when someone chooses to be unruly and disruptive, that is a choice. And we're asking you all to make better choices. If you are having anxiety about flying, please make sure that you get the right resources and tools in order to combat that. And if you're frustrated, please just know we are also frustrated. We are also waiting for an aircraft to arrive so that we can take you home or take you to Los Cabos. We are also wanting to go to our own layovers and get our rest so that we can be able to be not fatigued working the next day. Our airline workers are also fatigued just like customers are. Mm-hmm. We are also frustrated just like customers are. We as employees, though, are choosing to exercise grace and mercy on ourselves as well as our customers. And we ask the customers to do the same to us and refrain from putting their hands on us and threatening the lives of themselves and us as crew members.
All right, pack your patience and your manners. All right, I want to thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.